Hi everybody, this is Bob Iacchino from Path Trading Partners along with my co-founder Mike Arnold. It is September 14th. This is a Path Chat cryptocurrency educational update covering a bunch of different cryptos. Mike wanted to do kind of an all-in-one and cover a bunch of things in one video, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him because there is a lot that he wanted to get accomplished. So Mike, it is all yours.
Thank you very much, Bob. So this is a very large crypto update covering a bunch of them we covered. I'm going to go very quickly. People are asking for key levels, where they should be looking if they're doing shorts for further levels down, or if they're looking to do aggressive longs, what levels we're watching for. Again, be careful out there. We've had the announcement that one exchange is closing down in China. If the others follow, there may be some more downside. A couple days ago in Bitcoin, we talked about, hey, you know, one of our levels down was 3,000, 3,400. Well, 3,400's already been hit, and 3,000 could be hit. So people are saying, oh, it's crazy, it's not going to happen. Well, it's happened. So, and there's further downside. We're into the weekly rotation zones. Before we get there, though, Bitcoin Cash triggered trendline trade below the defining point, hit the first GAN target 407. Next key levels down, we're watching for targets 344 and then the 298, so essentially the 300 level. All right, if you do take any long trades, watch the rotation zone, especially in the daily and the 4 hour. The rotation zone on the 4 hour is very key. Bitcoin US dollar got through both the GAN levels and pulling those off. Those are long gone. Came down to our next target cluster. I've also updated all our GAN retracement levels and projection levels. You can see we had a huge cluster down here from 3302 to 3399, which we've hit all those key levels also. Next levels down 3207. Then we have another sort of cluster between 3005 to 2898, which is also a return to a breakout zone. Let's take a look at the weekly to keep it in perspective. The weekly, that's right around that 3,000 rising bottom of the rotation zone. You can see that purple level here, 2956 to 3,005 coming in at the bottom of the rotation zone. Not saying it has to get there instantly. That's what you have to keep in mind. We're going to get rotations just like on the way up. So we broke down below those key levels, came to rotation zone, rotated back down. We're now going to watch for another retracement. Okay, the weaker the retracement, if it doesn't even get up to the 8, the more powerful the next down move could be. So keep that in mind, but you're going to watch on this for the return to the rotation zone on the 4 hour chart. That's how you're going to look at a lot of these things. If you were going to take very aggressive longs, which we're not recommending right now, do not set your targets outside the rotation zone. Your first target should be somewhere near the bottom of the rotation zone. Your second target should be somewhere within the rotation zone. Okay? These sell-offs can continue. And they could end at any time, but then once we get high probability reversal patterns, we'll look to get back in. Okay? Dash closed below the defining point, continued its sell-off, went through the next trend line. We're now watching for possible lower prices, especially down to about this 229 to 233 level. Again, watch the 4 hour rotation zone just so you can keep that in perspective. Right now, that would be, we could watch for a return to about 266 to 272 at a bare minimum on a rally. Or remember, these things can move sideways. So this one moves sideways slightly up, and then you see how it pushed down. Don't be surprised if it does move sideways. You can have the 8 catching up, and then it breaks lower again. Ethereum came down to our 6.25 GAN level. That's 233, and our significant level at 225. Now it's getting a slight bounce. The significant level on that GAN level is right near the prior breakout zone. This also triggered a trendline trade into this clear path, which we've hit our first targets. If we continue lower, next target is 220, and then the next push down, we'd be watching for 212, and then below that 200. Checking out the weekly on Ethereum, we're at a very critical level right now. This is the bottom of the rotation zone on the weekly basis. You can see where that significant level lies and the prior breakout level. So if we get another push down, that won't be good for Ethereum. and we could eventually even return to the next major stopping point, 194, and then we could even return to the 50-week moving average, 156, but those are a long way off still. The 4-hour chart, you can see just other examples. We broke the key levels, rotation zone, push back down. Now we're watching for a return to rotation zone, so we could watch for a possible return to the 250 area first. IOTA, pushing the boundaries of that bottoms where people are buying these dips. This continues lower. Trendline support coming in. You know, we're going to be watching around 41.50 to 42. That's 0.4150 to 0.42. Then below that, the 38 level. Really quick with IOTA, let's just check in on that one with our rotation zones. That one's not really, because it still hasn't broken out of this channel. If these keep pushing down, then they will come into play. Right now, they're just providing minor resistance, but you can see how it's keying off the 50. So any rallies, watch for how it's keying off this 50-period exponential moving average. Litecoin also triggered a major trendline trade into this clear path. Found some support at the 50 and our rising trend line. Let me pull some of this off to clear it off so you can see that one, how it found some support there. Then proceeded lower, hitting our next major target area at 53, trading down to the end of the clear path and the full extension. That was a full extension from the highs on September 2nd down to the lows on September 5th, then projected from the highs on September 7th, and that gave us our nice one level, which was 50.026, which was just above the end of the clear path, which came in about this 49.50. But those targets have all been hit, and we're sitting at this longer term trend line now. So we're watching for the next move into the rotation zone. Looking at the weekly on Litecoin, you can see if it makes another push down, you're going to find some more support coming around this 45 level, prior breakout zone. And then the bottom of this is about 43. So those are the levels we'll be watching for on the larger time frame. Right now, we're seeing how it reacts if it pushes back up closer to some of these key levels, like around 53 to 54.50, where the declining rotation zone comes in. Monero daily, we talked about this triggered double top, which now we've hit the 75. I'm taking this off now. This was 89.23. We had the 50. We're talking about watching that 90 level. The lows here were 90. That's essentially target reached for us. That's done, so we can unclutter our charts. On another push lower, we have a key 1.25 GAN extension from these levels, pushing down at this about this 86.67, lining up with the 625 retracement at 86.24. So that will be a very key level on a move lower. Then should we get through that, we'll be watching 79.25 to 76.41 for our next areas. Taking a look at the weekly, we're right at the top of the rising rotation zone, and you know how we feel about that. If we do get it, especially a key close into this rotation zone, we could then see the bigger pullback, especially to the 75% GAN level from this last major push up, which is around 72. ARK Bitcoin blew through our next levels up, these key GAN levels. So I'm just going to pull those off. At this point, you can see initially this was when I recorded the last video, it was like this, but we never got the key close above it. Then we got a nice redraw. We got the push above it, triggered a long entry. We pushed up that 1.625 level we talked about in the other video. So that is now coming off. We then, let me switch to a 1 hour chart for you. Had a nice little pullback here. Just could have got in on any of these rotation entries up, especially this candle or this candle. Now we're looking at the next levels higher. Should this continue, we're looking at 0.001237, then 0.001290 for the next ones up in ARK. And remember, that's traded against Bitcoin on the Bittrex exchange. And finally, Ripple on Kraken exchange. Broke below this trend line and this key significant level, found some support at a rising trend line, which has been in place for a very long time, which has been in place actually since August 20th was when that could have been drawn. Found some support. We're also watching the declining rotation zone on the 4-hour here. On a next move lower, we have the prior breakout zone coming in right about 16. I think I posted that in comments for another viewer earlier. And then if that's broken, the end of the clear path is 1523 area. Just check in on that rotation zone on the 4-hour. See how it spiked up there. Right now, we're going to watch to see how it reacts next time it comes up and how it rotates lower. And then we'll be able to project some more levels down. That's our very thorough update on all the cryptos. Again, don't panic. These things got very extended. We've talked about this. Talked about the rotation zone on the weekly, and if they entered it, they could pull back even more. They've done that. So now we're just working with our trading, unwinding it, watching for very patient key levels. If there's any high probability reversals, we can take them with targets being in that 4-hour rotation zone. We still don't know what's going to happen. More exchanges could close. They could announce the exchange closures are just temporary. We just don't know, but it is going to trade off this volatility. That's why make sure you know your levels in advance and how you're going to react. If you're looking for price targets, that's what you're going to take action at. If you have stop levels, that's what you're going to be taking at. If you're looking for these levels for taking possible setups, then you know them in advance, so when it gets to those levels, you can start watching for your setups. That's all we have for you. Back to you, Bob.
Michael, thank you for that. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for the long video, but wanted to get everything done for you guys. Please hit like and subscribe and consider donating to our Patreon page. We'll make better videos, higher quality videos as that account grows. But if not, that's fine. Hit like and subscribe, and we will talk to you in the next Path Chat. Cheers, guys.